How's everyone doing? It's me again. Hello. Do a very quick presentation. Interoperability. How many of you heard of this term? Interoperability. Okay, so we're just gonna do a very basic rundown of interoperability, and so it's really interesting for me to kind of connect what I know in Web3 and just share a little bit more on what I want to kind of give you guys an overview on this topic because it's quite interesting for Web3. So for folks who have zero knowledge on interoperabilities, and how many of you use Netflix? Do you watch? How many of you raise your hand if you watch Netflix on your laptop, on your phone, on the TV? Okay, so in simple terms, interoperability is to use and exchange informations between two systems. And that's the simple terms to understand interoperabilities, where you can watch Netflix on your phone, on laptop, on TV screens, and that's how interoperabilities works. So there are really three different types of interoperabilities. So the first one is synthetics. So if you look at synthetics, it's like two different tables, like a SQL. So SQL is a database where how do you merge two different tables? You have one common columns, and that's how you merge two different data sets into one. And that's how synthetics works. And then semantics is where you have informations where you merge tables, but you want to interpret these data into insight and useful informations. And that's the second level. That's the second level of translating informations into something insightful. So that's semantics. And then the third type of interoperability is cross domains. So you can think of organizations have a different department, and different department communicate and exchange with each other. So that's cross-domain interoperabilities. So these are really three different type of interoperabilities for our informations: synthetics, semantics, and cross domains. And so you may wonder why is it relevant for us? If you really look at from Web 2 to Web 3s, and so in the Web 2 world, we have Spotify, we have iTunes, we have Google Music, and these different systems are independent. They don't really talk to each other. And that's kind of the way of how the interoperabilities works in the Web 2. But if you look at Web 3, that's an interesting case where how different systems are talk to each other. And that's why we have wallet. And the wallet is the intermediate where you can work with different websites. You can buy NFTs and you can work on different platforms. So if you really look at Web3, you have Decentraland, you have OpenSea, you have Binance. And in order to access these platforms, you really need a wallet, like the MetaMask or any other platforms. So that's how interoperability works. It's the system can talk to other systems in the Web3 world. And that's how you can buy NFTs and you can buy other stuff. All right, so I'm gonna talk a little bit technical on here. So how does cross-chains works in the Web3 world? And what we'll kind of put analogy here is the goal for us to exchange and use informations across different blockchains is like creating a bridges. And the bridges is where you can talk to each other in terms of the system, right? So we're talking about decentralized, and we have Bitcoin ecosystem, we have Ethereum, we have Solana's, and all these systems have their own ecosystem. And fundamentally, interoperability is here to create digital bridges to talk to each other so we can have applications and user cases for us to use different blockchains. And here, bridges are like digital connectors that facilitate the flow of the asset and the data between different blockchain ecosystems. So simply put, how many of you can think of any bridges in the blockchain space? What are the bridges in the blockchain space? You cannot remember the name, but you know what they are. There are so many bridges, right? So the point of the digital bridges is, again, to connect information, use information, and exchange informations. So as some of you know, there are many bridges. We have Polkadot. And Polkadot is one way that you can transfer, you can use and exchange informations in between blockchains. And then we have Chainlink. And we also have OneChain and Cosmos. So these are the digital bridges between different blockchain ecosystems. Again, the point of interoperabilities is to connect and use and exchange digital asset between different blockchains. And so that's why trying to put analogies behind like why bridges are important, why are we trying to communicate with each other in different blockchain ecosystems. Last but not the least, so just quickly give examples on the user cases of the impact of interoperabilities. So now the impact of interoperabilities is really to connect and collaborate with each other. So we have different NFT communities, we have Bored Ape, and we have OpenSea platform, Discord, and that's a bright moment, another community. So in the blockchain, we have so many communities. What's the point of this community? Is to talk to each other, connect to each other, and exchange information to create a greater transparency and greater impact in the blockchain space. So that's why, to me, the power of interoperabilities is to really understand how users and also business can talk to each other based on blockchain and create transparencies in between each other. Because in Web2, you have your organizations, we have our organizations. So like we can talk to each other, but like in terms of exchange digital asset, there's really no such things. So that's why in Web3 we empower interoperabilities to kind of use exchange informations as well as digital asset. Any questions so far? Okay. All right, so I'm just gonna quickly touch upon some of the business user cases that we use at SAP. My colleagues from SAP, you can also go to his session later. He will touch a little bit more on the NFT management. So basically, at SAP, we do NFT management where we onboard Web2 customers into Web3. And why that is important? Because not every single business understands what crypto is. Not even wallet. And so when we onboard Web2 customers, we're trying to help them to understand you can easily get into the Web3 space just by using emails. And so you don't have to, download the wallet, understand the digital currency. So that's a different way to kind of exchange, use information to help our customers to better understand. And another department in SAP is called Blockchain Business Connectors, and that's where we build the blockchain infrastructures for business to understand how they can leverage Web3 technologies for their customers, for their business. So these are the two user cases that we do at SAP. All right, so which kind of wrapped up my presentation. My presentation is pretty short, and I just want to give a basic understanding on what interoperability is. So fundamentally, it's just a way to exchange and share information to understand how systems can talk to each other. And the user cases in Web3 is to build bridges. And the bridges are the digital connectors that help kind of information and assistance to understand each other and exchange digital asset. So with that, hopefully that gives you a little bit more overview what interoperability is, and have fun at the BananaConf. All right.